My girlfriend's mother despised how rustic and country I looked. She tossed 10,000 yuan at me and told me to leave her daughter. My girlfriend, meanwhile, kept her head down, playing on her phone, clearly chatting with someone. I stood up and walked out, afraid I might change my mind. Her mother forcibly shoved the bank card into my hand and told me to get lost. A month later, I was riding a horse and herding cattle when I saw a luxury car stuck in a muddy pit. A disheveled figure climbed out of it. She stared at the endless herd of cattle, her eyes lighting up. My good son-in-law, I've had such a hard time finding you. My ex-girlfriend got out of the car as well. My mom agreed to let us be together. I soothed my startled horse and said in confusion, "But I just got married yesterday." Chapter 1. When I heard the amount, my heart was completely calm. 10,000 yuan. That was only enough to buy a single calf. Where I come from, even the most basic dowry starts at 1,000 of the strongest cemental cattle. Our family business is worth tens of millions now. A rustic, dirt-smeared poor boy like you is not someone we can afford to associate with. Jennifer said it herself, there's an earthy stench about you that can't be washed off. You being with her would only disgrace our family. 10,000 yuan should be enough for you to live on for 2 years, right? I said nothing and turned to look at Jennifer. She had her head down, playing on her phone, chatting happily with someone. I knew exactly who she was talking to. Colin, that bookish, pretentious poor guy, the so-called campus heartthrob of the biopharmaceutical department. He lived off the university's financial aid, yet when he ate, he would only order small stir-fry dishes. The cafeteria food smells like pig slop. I can't stomach it, he liked to say. Ever since Jennifer met him, she had grown cold toward me. She said Colin had a main character arc, that after graduation he'd become a CEO. As for me, all I ever talked about was going back home to herd cattle after graduating. She said she didn't want to be trapped in the countryside, turning into a dark-skinned farm woman. It seemed we were simply not meant to be. Are you listening to me or not? Jennifer's mother slammed the table, making a loud bang. I stood up and headed straight for the door. Don't you leave. I know what you're thinking, refusing the money and not stating your position, then going back to keep pestering Jennifer shamelessly. Right. I'm telling you right now, don't even think about it. Our family has already shortlisted suitable son-in-law candidates, and you are not one of them. Jennifer, say something. Only then did Jennifer impatiently raise her head and glance at me. Nathan, you should go back first. Colin will be here soon, and I don't want him to misunderstand. After all, you're still in my evaluation period. I hope you'll be considerate of my feelings. As she spoke, she picked up her phone and sent a voice message. Colin, take your time walking over. I still have a small thing to deal with here. I'll be done soon. Then Jennifer's mother forcefully shoved the card into my hand. There are security cameras here. They prove you've already taken the money. From now on, you're not allowed to harass my daughter again. Unwilling to accept it, I asked. Jennifer, are you really letting me just leave like this? Don't you want to go see the grasslands before making a decision? Jennifer lifted her eyelids slightly. Who wants to go to the grasslands with you? I heard that place reeks of cow and sheep dung. I said nothing more and turned to leave. I had thought that meeting a girl I liked would let me escape my family's tribal arranged marriage. Looks like my father was right. Almost no city girl is willing to marry into the grasslands of her own free will. I walked out of my girlfriend's mother's small office building. The sun was bright, but it wasn't as pure as the sunlight on the grasslands. The bank card her mother had given me was still in my hand. I casually tossed it into my bag. On the way back, I'd just buy a calf or two to keep my family's herd entertained. Just then, a mocking voice rang out. Well, if it isn't the cowherd boy. Chapter 2. I looked up and saw Colin stepping out of a ride-hailing car, wearing gold-rimmed glasses. I asked, puzzled. The campus is only 1 kilometer from here. You still took a car? Colin's gaze turned even more disdainful. Have you ever seen a CEO walk? I snorted. A calf that's born unable to walk usually gets buried deep, so it won't contaminate the whole cattle ranch. Colin didn't get angry. He even mimicked my snort. That's why you can only go back to herding cattle, while He lifted his chin, spread his arms, and looked toward Jennifer's family company. We'll use this place as a springboard and slowly build my business empire. If not for the tape-wrapped arm of his glasses, I would have thought some rich young master was inspecting his territory. I waved my hand. You take your time conquering it. I'm going home. Seeing that his grand speech hadn't impressed me at all, Colin said angrily behind me. We're not in the same social class after all. Go back and herd your cattle properly, and don't forget to shovel the manure clean. He knew nothing. Once dried, cow dung is actually the best fuel for heating and cooking, clean and smokeless. The day after tomorrow, summer vacation would start. I had booked a hard-seat train ticket back to the grasslands. Delaying one more day was still a win, because my dad had said that if I couldn't find a girlfriend this summer, I'd better obediently go back and get married. He'd already picked a wife for me. At noon, I ate in the cafeteria, a 1 meat, 2 vegetable set meal for 8 yuan. Colin called this kind of food livestock grub, saying that if you eat it too much, you're destined to be nothing but a beast of burden. He was a man meant to become a CEO, after all. Every time Jennifer heard him say that, her eyes sparkled with admiration, but I thought it tasted pretty good, after all. Everyone was eating it. While eating, I scrolled through my phone and saw Jennifer's WeChat moments. She had posted 2 plane tickets flying to South City this summer. Having you is enough, a roommate eating with me said enviously. Nathan, dating a rich young lady is great. Huh, she's even taking you to the seaside for summer vacation. I shook my head. She's not going to South City with me. The roommate was shocked. You broke up? I nodded. Why? Because I'm too rustic. He slammed the table. We're all poor students anyway, what's Colin pretending for? Damn it. I stuffed a steamed bun into his mouth. Do you want the whole world to know I got dumped? Nathan, why didn't you tell her what your family actually does? I shook my head. What does my family do? We raise cattle. That's not just raising cattle. Last summer when we went to your place, I shoved another bun into his mouth. Jennifer hated the smell of cow dung and insisted on not going. If she had gone that time, I really don't believe. I stuffed the last bun into his mouth too. Just shut up, I said helplessly. He looked indignant. Just then, Colin's voice rang out again. Cowherd boy, I heard you bought a hard seat train ticket. I turned my head and saw Jennifer standing beside him as well. Then I remembered, the ticketing app on my phone was still bound to Jennifer's number. A mistake. Nathan, don't misunderstand, Jennifer said. I just came because I was worried that Colin would hurt his stomach eating cafeteria food. I'm here to keep an eye on him eating stir-fry dishes. You know he's not used to food like yours. Chapter 3. I waved my hand. We're not related anymore. Did you forget? I already took the money. Go back and thank your mom for me. When I use it to buy a calf, I'll name it Colin. Clear disgust surfaced in Jennifer's eyes. I can still try to persuade my mom. After all, if there's only one person chasing me, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't match my status. My roommate couldn't stand it anymore and cursed so hard he nearly spat food everywhere. Holy shit, you actually said the quiet part out loud. Jennifer, do you have any shame at all? Colin grabbed Jennifer and dragged her away. Stay away from people like them from now on. Don't let the smell of beasts of burden rub off on you. Let's eat at the 2nd floor today. The food there is more refined. Jennifer's gloomy face instantly brightened. The 2 of them went upstairs arm in arm. Jennifer even turned back, wanting to explain to me. Nathan, don't misunderstand. But my roommate and I had already reached the cafeteria exit. We didn't look back even once. A flash of irritation crossed Jennifer's eyes. Jennifer, why are you explaining anything to that cowherd boy? Auntie already gave him money. Colin ground his teeth, jealousy flashing in his eyes. After all, his bank balance had never once exceeded 1,000 yuan. Watching me casually take 10,000, how could he possibly accept that? Nathan, just you wait. Before we even got back to the dorm, Jennifer's WeChat moments updated again. 2 steaks, and 2 fried eggs shaped into hearts. As long as you're here, everything tastes good. My roommate saw it and nearly threw up. How did I only just realize that this rich young lady likes playing both sides? Did you hear what she said earlier? She doesn't want only one person chasing her. What is she? A runaway wild bull that needs a whole group chasing behind her? I corrected him calmly. You can't chase wild bulls. They're protected animals. You'll get arrested and sent to peddle a sewing machine. My roommate pretended to kneel. Brother Nathan, is your ranch hiring? I'm really good at shoveling shit. Get lost. Yes, sir. Joking aside, his family background wasn't worse than mine. Another low-profile guy. Summer vacation was almost here, and there were no more classes. We spent the whole afternoon playing games. Then the dorm door was kicked open with brute force. The old wooden door let out an overworked creak. The lingering ghost, self-proclaimed CEO, Colin. He was back. Nathan, hand over the 10,000 yuan you took. Otherwise, I'll report you to the faculty for having an unclear source of massive assets. I was in the middle of an intense team fight, keyboard and mouse clacking wildly. I didn't have time to deal with him. Colin kicked my bed hard. Don't play dumb. You think my family's money is that easy to take? The team fight ended. Because of his interruption, my squad got wiped out. My roommate's face darkened as he locked the dorm door. Colin, you'd better give us an explanation. His expression was grim, classic post-team wipe syndrome. Colin took a step back in fear. Don't touch me. I'll be worth hundreds of millions in the future. You can't afford to touch me. I'm just here to get my own money back. This has nothing to do with you. I took my hand off the mouse and pulled out the bank card. You're saying, this money is yours? Chapter 4. Greed flashed in Colin's eyes. He reached out and snatched the card away. That's right. At least you know your place. Jennifer will be my first wife. Her family's money is my money. You're just a cowherd boy. You wouldn't earn this much in your entire life. Trying to cross class boundaries and stand on the same level as me. Dream on. My roommate rolled up his sleeves, about to rush forward. Fuck me. This is the first time I've ever seen someone this shameless. I grabbed him and stopped him. Colin, are you sure you want to take the money Auntie gave to me? Stop talking nonsense. This is my family's money. Are you sure you don't know why this money was given to me? I don't care about a cowherd boy's business. I sneered. Go ahead. Take it. The farther you go, the better. Before I could finish, a commotion broke out in the hallway. Student, this is the male dormitory. You can't go in. Don't touch me. If something happens to Colin, can you take responsibility? Colin. Then the dorm door was shoved open again with tremendous force, the old wooden door creaking under the strain. Colin, are you okay? They didn't do anything to you, did they? Jennifer grabbed Colin, checking him from head to toe, just short of stripping him to look more closely. Colin affectionately patted her on the head. Don't worry, I'm fine. Jennifer twisted her face and screamed hysterically at me. Nathan, why are you so petty? What did Colin ever do to you that you'd lock him in the dorm and stop him from leaving? I just got a little closer to him. I didn't do anything out of line. Suddenly, she noticed the bank card in Colin's hand. Realization dawned on her. I get it now. You wanted to use money to make Colin stay away from me, right? Nathan, you're absolutely shameless. Do you really think Colin is the kind of person who cares about such a small amount of money? Let me tell you, he's a transmigrator. He's holding a main character script. A superior expression appeared on Colin's face. I originally wanted to get along with you as an ordinary person, but all I got in return was alienation. So I'll just come clean. I won't pretend anymore. From now on, I'll be the largest provincial agent of Green Source Ranch, and the future creator of a beef empire spanning 3 provinces centered on South City, with a market value exceeding 300 million. Cowherd boy, you'd never imagine this in your lifetime. Running a beef business can make you a billionaire too. I was completely stunned. A transmigrator, a main character script, was this a web novel or something? No wonder Colin acted so mysteriously all day long, living off student loans, yet constantly eating stir-fries and steaks, taking ride-hailing cars everywhere, and just now, Green Source Ranch. Wasn't that my family's ranch? Chapter 5. Seeing the constant changes in my expression, Jennifer thought I had been scared silly. She snatched the bank card from Colin's hand and flung it straight at my face. Nathan, take your breakup money and stay away from Colin. I don't need a pursuer like you. I'm going to be a CEO's wife in the future. Colin opened his mouth and raised his hand, but in the end, he didn't say a single word. He could only watch helplessly as I picked up the card and slipped it back into my pocket. Seeing this, the disgust and contempt on Jennifer's face grew even stronger. The two of them held hands and left. Just as any reader would expect, Colin threw me a provocative look before going. I'm gonna puke, several roommates said, covering their mouths. Green Source Ranch. My roommate Ignacio was just about to ask me when I shushed him, signaling him to stay quiet. Things like this aren't interesting at all if you don't save them for the final reveal. Just then, I received a message from my dad on WeChat. One photo, one line of text. In the photo was a girl with wheat-colored skin, smiling brightly, her white teeth on full display, drop-dead gorgeous. You little brat, the wedding's all set. If you don't come back soon, I'll make you shovel cow dung all summer. My roommate leaned over. Who's this pretty girl? My sister, brother-in-law. Take me home with you for summer vacation. Get lost. Alrighty then. After more than 10 hours on the train, I finally met the girl I was about to marry. It turned out to be my childhood friend, Maya, the tomboy who used to dig through cow dung with me when we were kids. With looks like that, it was honestly an unexpected kind of surprise. The news of us registering and getting married spread across the entire grasslands. It even made the headlines. Green Source Ranch and Dawn Ranch, heirs of the 2 major ranches to marry. Livestock empire left with no rivals. Jennifer's mother saw the news. Her hands trembling, she passed her phone to Jennifer. Jennifer, take a look at this Green Source Ranch heir. Doesn't he look a bit like your ex-boyfriend? Jennifer took the phone. Her expression slowly twisted. Nathan, it really is Nathan. How dare he lie to me? I'm going to find him and settle this. Chapter 6. On the vast grasslands, I rode freely on horseback. It had been more than half a month since I got married, and I discovered that Maya and I were a match made in heaven. Even though we were newlyweds, after a few days of wild passion, we were already like an old married couple, calmly discussing the future development of the ranch. Today, she went to the breeding base with nothing else to do. I came out to ride and herd cattle. During this time, Jennifer called me countless times, afraid Maya might misunderstand. I rejected every call. In the end, thoroughly annoyed, I blocked Jennifer on both phone and WeChat right in front of my wife. I guess Jennifer must have seen the news about my marriage. More importantly, she had learned my real identity. Men of the grasslands don't like messy, roundabout romances. Being blacklisted was her best ending. Suddenly, the horse was startled. It reared up high, neighing loudly. I focused my gaze and saw, not far away, a luxury car sunk deep into the rain-soaked grassland. The engine was roaring as it tried to force its way out. Damn it, who let a car drive in here? I soothed the horse, squeezed my legs against its belly, and charged over at full speed. Just as I approached and dismounted, a man got out of the car first. Colin. He glanced at me, dressed in my hometown clothes. I figured he hadn't recognized me. Kid, here's 200 yuan. Find a few horses and pull our car out. Colin said arrogantly, pointing and ordering. I ignored him, riding my horse in circles around the car, inspecting the damage to the pasture. My expression grew darker by the second. This wasn't just a simple drive-in. He'd been speeding back and forth within a 1-kilometer radius. The entire grassland was crushed into a miserable mess. Didn't you hear what I said? Let me tell you, I'm going to be a partner of Green Source Ranch in the future. Seeing that I still wasn't responding, Colin's face twisted. Like a king enraged at being ignored, he strode over quickly and reached for my horse's reins. Stay back, I shouted angrily. Colin didn't listen. His hand kept moving. The horse had only just been calmed. Now it was startled again, neighing as it reared high into the air. The horse's massive shadow completely enveloped Colin. The next second, it was about to smash his skull. Colin froze in terror and collapsed onto the grass, forgetting even to dodge. I yanked the reins hard. The horse's hooves narrowly brushed past Colin's face before slamming heavily into the ground, leaving deep hoofprints in the grass. Between Colin's legs, a dark stain slowly spread. I jumped off the horse, slapped its rump, and it bolted off in a flash, heading up the hillside to graze. Colin remained sitting on the grass, eyes vacant. Nathan, is that you? My good son-in-law, I've finally found you. Jennifer's mother opened the car door, eyes glowing as she stared at the endless herd of cattle. Smiling broadly, she rushed over, trying to hug me. I dodged to the side. Jennifer also got out of the car, her expression as arrogant as ever. Nathan, don't misunderstand. Colin was worried about letting others drive, so this time he's just my driver. And also, my mom has agreed to let us be together. I looked at the two of them expressionlessly as they talked to themselves. I'm married. I wasn't stupid. They'd driven thousands of kilometers to find me. What else could it be for? Jennifer's face twisted. I won't fall for your tricks again. The news only said you were about to get married. Just cancel the wedding. I can give you one more chance. Chapter 7. Give me a chance. Had a horse kicked her in the head or something? Jennifer, if you know how to speak properly, I'll receive you according to the etiquette of the grasslands. But if you're here to destroy my marriage, then I'm sorry, this grassland does not welcome you. Jennifer was about to say more when her mother cut in. My good son-in-law, don't joke around. Auntie was just teasing you back then. That 10,000 yuan was actually Jennifer's dowry. Oh, I took out the bank card. Yes, that's the one. Since you've already accepted it, hurry up and take me to meet your parents. Let's set your wedding date early so I can finally put my mind at ease. I tossed the card straight into her luxury car. Good thing the calf prices weren't right. I hadn't spent the money yet. The moment Jennifer's mother saw this, sweat started pouring down her forehead. What do you mean by this? How can you go back on it after taking the dowry? Believe it or not, I'll post this online. I cut her off. Our family's rule for marriage is simplicity. The day the news is announced is my wedding night, so I am already married. Please leave. No. Jennifer screamed hysterically. Nathan, you lied to me. You hid your identity just to watch me make a fool of myself, didn't you? So what if you're married? You can still get divorced. Just because you're married, does that mean you don't have to take responsibility for me? I was completely dumbfounded. My brain spun for a long while and still couldn't follow her logic. At that moment, Colin finally came to his senses. I don't agree. He stood up and brushed the mud and grass scraps off his clothes. Half of his pants were still wet. Jennifer absolutely cannot marry a divorced man. Then, unbelievably, he extended his hand toward me, trying to shake hands. Hello. Let me formally introduce myself. My name is Colin, future CEO of Lumina International. In the future, we'll be business partners. I didn't shake his hand. I was afraid he still had urine on it. Colin looked a bit awkward, but still smiled confidently. It's fine. You might think I'm exaggerating, but this is something destined to happen. Although your marriage caused a small plot deviation, Jennifer will still be my wife. I won't allow her to marry you. I remembered now. He had said it before. Jennifer's family was his first stepping stone, and Jennifer was meant to be his first wife. I looked at him, my expression dark. We'll talk about all that later. Right now, I want to ask you something. You're the driver? Colin casually smoothed his hair, putting on an air of nonchalance. Don't focus on such details. This is a necessary sacrifice before my success. I waved my hand, cutting him off, and pointed at the surrounding pasture. This entire ranch area has been ruined by you. To fully recover, it'll take at least 3 years. We need to talk about compensation. Compensation? Colin laughed as if he'd just heard the biggest joke in the world. I'm going to be the largest agent across 3 provinces centered on South City for your ranch, with annual sales in the tens of billions. And you want me to compensate you for a mere patch of grassland? If I terminate our cooperation, all your cattle will rot right here on this prairie. My expression remained calm as still water. So you won't compensate? I put 2 fingers to my lips and let out a sharp, piercing whistle. The sound echoed across the grasslands, faintly at first, then unmistakably. Countless hoofbeats thundered in from all directions. Chapter 8. More than a dozen herders, mounted on fine horses, rode in circles around the 3 of them, Colin included. The dense thunder of hooves and the bold, piercing whistles stunned them into standing frozen on the spot. Why you? What are you trying to do? This is a society ruled by law. Jennifer and her mother were terrified. We'll pay. Name a price, we'll pay. Since she'd said that, I waved my hand, signaling the herders to disperse. Then I called a few of them to stay behind and use horse-drawn trailers to haul the 3 of them to the ranch's office area. Even after sitting down in the reception room, Colin's legs were still trembling. I sent people to assess the damage on site, then had accounting run the numbers. It came to about 100,000 yuan. Reluctantly, Jennifer's mother pulled out her phone and scanned to pay. Jennifer watched everything coldly from the side. Colin, meanwhile, had recovered and began inspecting the office area. The office equipment is far too outdated, it all needs replacing. TSK. Why are the employees so old on average? How can you keep up with the times like this? Nathan, right. I think your company's external image is pretty average. If I'm going to cooperate with you, I'll have to think it over carefully. I looked at him, still lost in his delusions. Your car has been towed back, and the compensation's paid. It's still daylight, head back while you can. Jennifer's mother nudged Jennifer, maintaining her aloof demeanor. Jennifer walked over to me. Nathan, I know you're still angry with me, but please don't misunderstand this time. Colin is just my driver. I was at a loss for words. Why did every single one of them love living in fantasies? Nathan, what happened? Maya walked in, dressed in fitted riding gear. She wiped the sweat from her brow. The calves were all good quality today. I personally delivered one. Before long, the little guy was bouncing around me full of energy. She turned to the 3 unfamiliar faces. Oh, guests. I nodded. Yeah, college classmates. Maya broke into a bright smile. Perfect. There's a bonfire party tonight, come join us. Jennifer's face darkened as she turned to question me. Nathan, is she the one who stole you away? A dark, rough girl like that, how could she possibly compare to me? I looked at the thick makeup caked on Jennifer's face and was just about to lose my temper when Maya exploded first. Have some shame. You're the girlfriend Nathan dated back at school, right? He told me on our wedding night, your family used 10,000 yuan to send him packing. Ha ha ha. I laughed about it the whole night. The heir of Green Source Ranch, worth just 1 calf, ha 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 ha. The men and women in the office burst out laughing as well. People raised on the grasslands had always been straightforward. Young boss, with our 500,000 head of cattle, looks like you can't handle it. Who told you you're only worth 1 calf? Exactly, but that calf isn't ordinary. At 10,000 a head, it must be top quality. Ha ha ha. I roared. So this is never going to be let go, huh? Maya, can you say less about bedroom stuff? Jennifer's cheeks flushed crimson. You, shameless, you're obscene. Smack. Maya stepped forward and slapped her across the face. Sorry, I never wait when I take revenge. Bad habit from growing up herding cattle. After all, those wild wolves that steal calves don't bother reasoning with you. Jennifer covered her face, staring at her in disbelief. Why you dared to hit me? Nathan, she hit your girlfriend, aren't you going to do something? I said coldly. Maya, that was your mistake. Jennifer immediately looked at Maya with smugness mixed with venom. If you're going to slap someone, you should hit both sides, otherwise people will notice. Oh, right. Maya rolled up her sleeves. Chapter 9. Jennifer hid behind her mother. Jennifer's mother twisted her face and shouted at Colin. Colin, are you just going to stand there and watch Jennifer get hit? Colin was still wandering around inspecting the place. Hearing the commotion, he hurried over. Seeing Jennifer's swollen cheek, he turned a gloomy gaze on me. Nathan, I need to reassess our future cooperation. An heir like you is not qualified to work with my Lumina International. I turned my head and asked the guy from the marketing department. Quinn, do we have a partner company called Lumina International? Quinn checked on the computer. Nope. I searched online too, there's no such company at all. No. I looked at Colin in confusion. Jennifer said viciously. Nathan, Colin is a future CEO. He'll be your ranch's biggest buyer, monopolizing the beef and dairy market across 3 provinces. I advise you not to offend him. Don't bully a poor young man, you never know what he'll become. I chuckled and said to Quinn, Quinn, remember the name Lumina International? A smug smile appeared on Colin's face. Nathan, you're a smart one after all. Before he could finish, I cut him off. Put that name on the blacklist. Don't sell him a single cow. Maya immediately followed up. Dawn Ranch will also blacklist that so-called Lumina International. Colin's face alternated between green and red. Still, he refused to give in. I have a script. This isn't how the plot goes. Nathan, you're not even in my script. I'm telling you, this grassland is huge. It's not just your family raising cattle. Quinn burst out laughing, his deep voice nearly rupturing Colin's eardrums. Green Source Ranch and Dawn Ranch, together, their affiliated ranches already cover more than half the grasslands. You still want to buy cattle? You'll have to scrape them together from small-time independents. Colin's face turned ashen, his calves trembling again. He looked at Jennifer. Jennifer, I've gone this far for you. Why you have to marry me? Jennifer glanced at his still damp pants with obvious disgust, but spoke gently anyway. Colin, are you really the male lead? Then why would the male lead wet his pants? Hearing this, Colin suddenly snapped. He grabbed a vase as tall as half a person and swung it toward me. Quinn reacted instantly. He snatched the vase away and flipped Colin over his shoulder, slamming him hard onto the floor. Been a while since I practiced. Got a bit rusty. Colin lay there dizzy and muttering to himself. Impossible, impossible. I'm the protagonist. I marry Jennifer first, then build my business empire. Something must be wrong. Yes, something has to be wrong. I waved my hand and had security escort the 3 of them out. Jennifer's venomous gaze locked onto me. Nathan, you'll regret this. You're not important in the script. Once you provoke the protagonist, you'll be erased. Regret. Men of the grasslands have never known what regret means. Chapter 10. The evening bonfire party arrived as scheduled. Maya pulled me into the dance, completely lacking the aloofness and pride those so-called campus goddesses had. Jennifer didn't leave. She stood far away in the darkness, her expression unreadable. Colin was nowhere to be seen. The next morning, Maya and I were jolted awake in bed by an urgent ringtone. Nathan, something's wrong. More than a dozen cattle are dead, they were poisoned. Colin's face flashed through my mind instantly. He majored in biopharmaceuticals. Call the police. By the time I reached the site, the police were already there. Jennifer was there too. The moment she saw me, she rushed over. Nathan, I heard Colin talking about poisoning last night, so I reported it today. I did well, didn't I? I was about to dodge when Jennifer was knocked several meters away by Maya. Maya looked at the cattle convulsing on the ground, the pain in her eyes like she was watching her own children suffer. Bastard, the grasslands won't let him get away with this. Jennifer's mother helped Jennifer up, staring viciously at Maya. You little slut stole my daughter's husband, you're a homewrecker. Several female ranch workers immediately surrounded Jennifer's mother. Women raised on the grasslands carried an aura no pampered city matron could withstand. Her legs went weak on the spot. So what if I curse a homewrecker? This is my family business, what's it to you? When my daughter marries Nathan, I'll fire all of you, believe it or not. Maya and I had no time to deal with her at all. After checking, we confirmed that all the poisoned cattle were beyond saving. For the first time, hatred surfaced in my eyes. Mess with me, that's one thing. Mess with my cattle, unforgivable. On the fence of the cattle pen, someone had written large words in chalk. The handwriting was crooked, clearly done with the left hand. Anyone who doesn't follow the script will be erased and punished. Think it through, and obediently listen to the protagonist. If you don't, even greater punishment awaits you. I'm still deciding which plague to use to punish you. If Green Source Ranch is gone, there'll still be Yellow Source or Red Source, right? Anyway, this grassland never lacks cowherd boys. Colin. I didn't believe in scripts or protagonist auras having such power. I only believed one thing: someone had harmed my cattle, and that person had to face the grassland's punishment. Nathan, if someone deliberately spreads a plague, that would be very serious. Maya said worriedly. I patted the back of her hand. Don't worry, I have a way. Jennifer was livid, eyes splitting with rage. Nathan, you're openly flirting with this homewrecker in front of me. Have you considered my feelings at all? Before Maya could react, the ranch's female employees had already had enough. Our young master's wife is someone you can insult. Several of them worked together and tossed Jennifer straight into a mound of cow dung. Jennifer's mother screamed curses at Maya, and promptly received the same treatment. The police searched for several days but couldn't find any trace of Colin. The grasslands were vast. There weren't cameras everywhere. Maya was very worried. If Colin really managed to obtain enough pathogens, with the density of livestock on the ranch, it could easily trigger a large-scale outbreak. The financial and reputational damage to the ranch would be enormous. Pathogens aren't that easy to get, I said. Relax. If Colin won't come out, I'll make him come to us. I contacted my father, who was on vacation. I received the old man's full support. A few days later, a piece of news exploded across the southern province. Newly established Lumina International signs a strategic cooperation agreement with Green Source Ranch, jointly building a beef products empire spanning 3 provinces. Less than half a day after the news broke, my phone rang. It was Colin. Nathan, what the hell are you doing? Lumina International is the company I'm supposed to create in the future. What right do you have to register it first? Chapter 11. I let out a soft chuckle. There's a saying on the grasslands, a good horse isn't known by how loud its bell rings, and a real man isn't known by how loud he boasts. Colin, what's the point of yelling? I'll be waiting for you at the ranch. If you don't come, that so-called script of yours might really start going off the rails. On the other end of the line, Colin completely lost it. Nathan, don't think I don't know what you're up to. You want to lure me over and have the police arrest me, right? Dream on. I poisoned those dozen cows myself. What can you do about it? I'm already close to getting hold of pathogens. Your Green Source Ranch is as good as dead. The script has changed. Next, I, Colin, will establish a new ranch and replace you. I had already known he wouldn't fall for it that easily, so I smiled calmly. Colin, you underestimate me. Do you know how many cattle my ranch has? 500,000, at the very least. The dozen cows you poisoned mean nothing to me, just a drop in the ocean. And do you have any idea how strict epidemic prevention is on ranches right now? Even if I shut down all patrol posts and let you release pathogens freely, believe me, at most 100 cattle would be affected before I completely contain it. And you, protagonist Colin, would have no way back after that. If you really think this is a fictional world, then you should also understand. There are police here. There are laws. What you're planning to do next, I guarantee will land you in prison for life. Colin fell silent. He would never give up being the so-called male lead. I pressed on while the iron was hot. Lumina International is just a newly registered shell company. I can hand it over to you at any time. Colin sneered. You'd be that kind-hearted? Of course not, I replied evenly. You'll have to pass the grasslands test first. What test? Colin asked warily. I've sent you a location. I'll be waiting there to sign the equity transfer documents. The other end of the line went quiet for half a minute. He was probably checking the location. Nathan, are you insane? That place is deep in the heart of the grasslands. How am I supposed to get there? I let out a cold laugh. That's exactly why it's called a test of the grasslands. If you make it there safely, I won't pursue the poisoning of those dozen cows. I'll give you Lumina International, and you can continue your male lead fantasy. If you don't make it, sorry, disappear from my sight forever. Same time tomorrow. Don't be late. Colin was silent for a few seconds. Fine, just wait. I'm the male lead. I will never die on your so-called grasslands. But the grasslands aren't made of grass alone. There are swamps, and there are wolves. All that was left was to see whether Colin really had any protagonist halo. After hanging up, I looked downstairs from the ranch office building. Jennifer was still standing outside the gate. Even the stench of cow dung hadn't driven her away. I walked downstairs. Jennifer, I've said it before, I'm married, and I'm very happy. Please stop bothering me, Jennifer said with absolute certainty. I won't marry you, because I'll be Colin's wife. I'm the female lead written into the script. Colin told me so, it can't be wrong, but privately, we can still be lovers. I'm fine with that, given my conditions. It's impossible for only one person to pursue me, a CEO and a ranch heir. Both of you are worthy of me. Crazy. Everyone was crazy. That was the only thought in my head. Was this really a normal woman? So you agree, then? Jennifer reached out to grab me. Her phone rang. She immediately withdrew her hand and answered it. Colin, I'll go with you. Wait for me. She turned to me excitedly. Colin invited my mom and me to go on a grassland hiking trip. Don't misunderstand, Nathan. He's just my future husband, but I still love you. Shit, go love cow dung. After saying that, Jennifer turned around, got into her car, and drove off. Colin, ruthless, crossing the grasslands, and he still had to drag this mother-daughter pair along with him. Chapter 12. Whether what Colin said about scripts and transmigration was true or not, I didn't know. But one thing was real, the grasslands punish anyone who harms living beings. Sure enough, Colin did not arrive at the location I specified by the agreed time. Instead, the ranch police station received a distress call. By the time the rescue team arrived, the 3 of them were trapped in a swamp, barely alive. Colin had both hands pressed tightly on Jennifer's mother, while only Jennifer's mother's head was left exposed above the swamp. The swamp was littered with countless animal carcasses. After rotting, they produced swamp gas that had knocked all 3 of them unconscious. Because Colin was pressing down on Jennifer's mother, His exposed area was the largest, so his brain damage was the mildest. When Jennifer and her mother woke up in the hospital, neither of them recognized anyone anymore. The doctor said that whether, or when, they would recover was still unknown. Jennifer kept muttering to herself, "I'm the woman chosen by the male lead. I'm the CEO's wife. I'm the ranch owner's wife." Her mother muttered as well. 500,000 cows, 20,000 per cow, that's 10 billion, it's all mine, all mine. Colin, instead, was the most clear-headed. He simply stared at me with venomous hatred. I didn't bother with him, because the grassland's punishment was far from over. Sure enough, the very next day, Colin escaped from the hospital. I knew the grassland's judgment was still continuing. When I received the ranch's call and rushed to the scene, Colin was already on the brink of death. His entire body had been smashed into the wall of a cattle shed. Countless bloody holes covered him, gored by bull horns. In his hand, he was still clutching a syringe filled with an unknown liquid. His expression was weak, yet crazed. "The script needs correction. I'm correcting the script. You minor characters, do you know who I am? If I die, your world will collapse. You'll all disappear." When I learned yesterday that Colin had escaped, I had already made arrangements with the ranch staff. Lock all the cattle sheds. Leave only the cemental breeding bull enclosure open. "Young master, those cemental breeding bulls aren't castrated, they're extremely aggressive. Leaving that shed open is dangerous." "It's fine. We have a guest coming these 2 days. Let our most enthusiastic breeding bulls give him a proper welcome. And make sure the surveillance cameras are set to the highest resolution." Now it seemed clear that Colin had indeed received the ranch's highest level of hospitality. Before he could even be sent to the hospital, Colin was already dead, and my world was exactly the same as before. The sun over the grasslands was rising slowly, just as it always had. Maya walked over and took my hand. "Nathan, I had a dream last night. I dreamed that our world is actually a novel. You're the male lead, and I'm the female lead." I pulled her into my arms. "I had a dream too. I dreamed that idiot Colin transmigrated into the wrong novel and is now arguing with the author. So what happened in the end?" Maya blinked her dark, gleaming eyes, as if an entire grassland lay within them. I replied calmly. "The author replaced Colin with a single click. There's no male lead named Colin anymore. And as for my story on the grasslands, it will continue on, happily."